Hello guys, and welcome back to a very quick demonstration of how I got the power steering to work in my EV conversion. In a normal car with an internal combustion engine, the power steering pump is normally driven by a belt on the side of the engine, and then the power steering pump drives the hydraulic steering, and that's where you get your power assistance from, or at least in older cars anyway, that's how it worked. And that's how this car was set up before. So I had two choices to try and get the power steering working in this. Either install an electric hydraulic power steering pump. It's basically an electric pump that drives the power steering, the transmission fluid or the power steering fluid around. Either that or try and get the original, which this is, power steering pump to work being driven by electric. And what I've done to achieve that is a bit Heath Robinson. I've got a Ebike battery pack, an Ebike controller, just cheap Ebike controller off eBay or Aliexpress or any of those usual suspects, and a voltage converter which reduces the voltage from the Ebike battery down to around about 5 volts and is powerful enough to send that through to the motor. I've also got down here, as you can see, an alternator. This happens to have come from a Volkswagen, but basically any alternator would do the same job. So this is just a standard alternator out of any old car, and I've taken the electronic bits out of it, the diodes and voltage regulators and stuff have all been taken out of this. So basically it's just a bare alternator, bare wires. It's basically working as a three-phase motor now. And as you can see, I have a little belt here driving the power steering pump from the alternator. So what I've done is I've set up the Ebike controller so that it is directly connected to the alternator and drives the alternator off from the Ebike battery pack. So it's standard 36/42 volt Ebike battery pack. And ignore all these wires. I just was using cables and connections I had just to get it going. So in a normal e-bike controller, you would use an e-bike throttle, but all that does is control 5 volts going to one of the sense wires here. So what I've done is I've used just a bog standard pot, 4K pot, something like that, 4.7K pot, and I'm just using that to control the voltage going to the sense wire here in the middle. You've got a red and black, which is positive 5 volts and 0 volts, and the green is the sense wire. So if I was to turn this on, that sends 40 odd volts through to this voltage converter. It's actually a DC motor controller. And as you can see, this little display shows 13. What that means is we're currently getting 13% of the battery voltage is going through to the rotor on the alternator, and that is providing the magnetism in the rotor. And what will happen is if I start to turn this knob, the pump should start to work. Now at this stage I haven't finally decided how fast I need this to spin. I know in the car it would have been spinning in 700-800 RPM, something like that, when you're in takeover. But it's very easy for me to adjust it and set it to whatever I need. And if I work my way around through all the rubbish that's lying around, That's using one hand. Very, very simple. So now I have power steering. Like I say, I may have to adjust the speed of this. I can turn it up or down. That's it, going a little bit faster. I have no idea what RPM that is, but if I leave it at that, the steering is very light now. So effectively, I'll just turn this off. So what this is giving me is controllable power steering. I can increase the assist or decrease the assist as I wish. And there's no reason why I couldn't have, say, a button in the dash where I just push a button if I want more assistance or less assistance. Driving around town, you might want more. Driving in the open country, you might want less. So that's it working. Obviously, everything needs to be tidied up, cables put away, the electronics put into the car somewhere, but that should be easy enough to sort out. And we now have power steering. So anyway, hopefully that was of interest to you. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.